Hi, welcome to my video. This is an Inverness Campervan's demonstration of our Stratherrick campervan, and I'm going to show you how everything works in it. So first of all, I'm going to show you how you can use the electric system. Control panel for most of the electrics is over here just by the sink and above the fridge. The main button that you need to think about is this one on the left hand side. Now, car refers to the vehicle battery, the 0 is off, and van refers to the leisure battery, which is located under the passenger side front seat. You want to set it to van, and you'll see that gauge go up there. It goes straight to green. Now that means the battery is in full good health. Now at this point I'll tell you that there are 3 charging sources for the leisure battery. First of all, when the engine's running, that will charge the leisure battery. We've also got a solar panel on the roof that will top up the battery where necessary, and if you're on Hookup, that will also charge the leisure battery. Okay, so first button here is pump. That refers to pump and tap, so you switch that down and then the tap works. It's cold running water, and I'll show you how to change the water in a little while. Switch it off when you're not using. Lights is an LED light strip here. And there's also another light switch on the left hand side just above the bed, and that there is auxiliary, and that refers to a charging socket. There's like a normal cigarette lighter type socket. If you're not using the power, it's always better to switch it off. Now this button here, which is covered by a flap, that is a sort of isolator switch for the fridge. So at the moment it's pushed down at the top, so that's off. So pop it down at the bottom and that switches the fridge on. Now I'll show you how to change the water. We've got onboard water on Stratherrick, so it lives in this little cupboard here. And this long bottle just tips out and pops out. Just unscrew that cap there and that little seal there. Now, the best bit of advice is have the pipe a bit like that, then open for the tap and just open up the tap, and that will empty the pipe of water. You could possibly hear that gurgling there. And then have a cup or a bowl or a piece of paper ready to catch the water in, because it will drip a little bit more. So take that out and then take the bottle away to change it. Now you get an extra cap, so that once you've filled the water up, you can have that on the bottle while you're walking back from the water source and it's not sloshing everywhere. To put it back, just pop the pump in, pop that sleeve on there, and then the cap seals it in place, and just tip it in and pop it in there, and then you can close the tambour door, and you can see extra storage there while we're in there. Okay, next I'm going to show you how to work the rock and roll bed in Stratherrick. We have a rib rock and roll bed. It has it's a slightly wider bed with 3 seat belted positions, and we have ISOFIX fixings on it as well. But to change it into a bed, it's really simple. There's a lever just next to the side panel here. Lift up the lever, put your hand between the 2 sections of front and upright, flip that section round, and then that front section is strong enough for you to kneel on, and there's a big long bar between the 2 bits, and then lift the bar up and pull the upright forward, and that's a 6-foot long bed. And while we're here, I will show you that you can use this back section as, you can lift it up with that strap and use it as a sitting up in bed, or all the way up for storage, or completely flat. Now, to put it back, just lift the backrest up and that clicks into place. And to put the front section back, just lift that lever and flip the bed round. Now if you've got passengers sitting in here, before you put the bed down, you might want to just make sure you've retrieved the seatbelt sockets there for the ones at the side as well. Storage space next. Right behind the driver's seat we've got this tambour storage area, a curved tambour door, and you can see it's populated with some eating and cooking utensils, crockery and so on. Nice and easy to get to. This hidden compartment here, if you like, has got cutlery and a kettle, and again some just cooking utensils and so on. And maybe the cupboard just above the water. Some tambour storage in the rear sections, front and back. And under the bed we have some doors, and usually there's a basin and a brush and dustpan and loads of storage for bits and pieces in there. There's also some overhead storage above the cab. Normally the tables are in there and the crank handle for the awning. I'll show you how to work the rear table now. Again, it's stored up in the cab overhead storage unit. Nice and simple. So there's a leg here, just push the leg to the side, it's sort of sprung, and then flip it all up and all the way around, and then pop the table around, and it clips onto this little bar here, but you need to push your finger up on that little central holder, pop it on the rail, and two little sliding tabs underneath hold it in position. You can go forward or back, whatever's more comfortable for you. And to take it off, flip the little tab in the middle, as well as the tabs under the clamps, and lift it up, spin it round, push the spring down, and that releases the leg to pop it back, and then it can go back in its storage space above the cab. Okay, I'll show you how to use the passenger swivel seat next. This has got factory swivels and it's really versatile. So open the door slightly. There's a lever on the inboard side of the seat to pull the seat forward, and then right at the center underneath the seat there is a lever to pull in towards the center of the cab. Just flip that to the center and push the seat round, and really it's as simple as that. And while it's there, I'm going to show you how to use the table there. And to fit the table, just take it from above the cab and put it on the swinging arm, and then there's a clamp here. It works a bit like a bicycle seat clamp. Just tighten it up and it just makes it more secure, and you can lock the arm in position there, and you can have coffee, lunch, whatever you like. Work on the laptop. Okay, and to put it all away, just unclamp the table, pop it back into its storage zone, move that out of the way, move the little lever and swivel the chair around, pop it back in position. Okay, Stratherrick is a factory high top van, and we've got sleeping space for 2 people in the bed up top. And first of all, I'll show you where the lights are. They're in this storage zone at the back. There's a light switch right at the back there, and to be honest, the easiest way to switch them from this position is to use one of the bars for supporting the bed. So there are 2 different types of lights, as you can see. There we go, and we'll leave them on for the demonstration. So we'll pop those bars down there for now, and then it's a sort of cantilever bed, so just lift that board up and pull it past there, and then that extends into like a 6-foot bed, and then you can quite easily pop the support bars into these slots. It's just easier to put them in at the end. And that is strong enough to sleep 2 adults up there. And while we're up there, there's a roof vent, and I'll show you that in a moment. And to put it back into its usual position is quite easy. Just remove the support bars, and then push at the hinge then just pop it all the way back. Now there's usually a mattress for the people sleeping up there. It's not there at the moment, but you would have a mattress in place for that. I'll show you how to operate the roof vent features. Right now this is closed to sort of blackout almost, so pull that across. There is also a vent mesh or insect mesh on there, and there are two handles, so you can have ventilation up at the rear, both the rear and the front, or just the front. So just pull the little black clips in place, and then if you want it closed off or just left completely open, it's your call. Next I'm going to show you how to work the awning, which is located on the passenger side roof section of the campervan. This crank handle lives in the storage area above the cab, so just retrieve that, and that hook goes in at the back there, and you just turn that, give it a little bit of encouragement. Now the canopy does tilt down like that, that's absolutely fine, that works well. So you crank it out to as far as you need it, and then I'll show you how to work the legs. Right, I've already put one of the legs out, but I'm going to show you how to put the other one out. Really simple. Just pull these legs out, and they're on slides at the back, at each end. So pull it out and pivot it round. And this little turning nut here just releases the inner part of the leg. Just adjust it to the height you want, and then tighten it. And they can both go at different heights, obviously, for the rough terrain. This one's on uneven terrain at the moment. So that's it done. So I'll show you how to put the legs away. Just release that screw, lift it, slide the inner leg up, tighten it up again, pivot the leg round, and put this slide in right at the end, and the leg will go home fully. Now there's the little feet have to be flush with the front surface of the awning for both legs, and that allows the awning to go back flush. In they both go, and secure the legs there. Okay, now all we need to do is just crank the awning back in position. So hook the handle in and just turn it in until it's fully home. Now another thing to remember about the awning is please don't put it out when it's really windy or really wet, because it's not designed for use in extreme weather. But it's a great shade, and it is a good shelter if it's a little bit raining. So it's just there to be enjoyed. So the gas in Stratherrick is located in this rear cupboard here. Just enough space for a camping gas 907 bottle. Just open that door and then turn the valve anti-clockwise, and that's the gas there. It is vented, and if you need to change the gas bottle while you've got the van, buy it at a campsite or a petrol station, keep the receipt and I pay you that back, but only if it's empty, and because normally you would have enough gas for the trip. So when you're not using it, close off the valve and shut the door. Right, the hookup point on Stratherrick is located on the rear driver's side wing, and really easy to use. You get a hookup cable, you lift this flap up, and there's a locating dimple in the cable there, and there's a locator in the bottom there. So lift the flap up inside the housing and put that home, and then put the other end into the campsite hookup, and again that will charge the leisure battery, and it will also bring the 240 volt sockets inside the campervan live, and that is the only time that those sockets will work. to take the hookup cable out, just push that little blue lever down and pull out the cable and pop it back in the van. Okay, Stratherrick has a factory fitted parking heater, which means that the controls are in the console on the headlining. Really easy to work. So button on the top left here switches the screen on, press it again and it switches the heater on. Now the heater air comes out of the B pillar, which is behind the driver's seat, and it heats the rear space of the campervan area. To switch that off, just press that top button again. Now you can change the timer settings and so on, and I'll let you work out how to do that, or I can show you that when you're getting the campervan handed over. But it's really simple. And now, a couple of things about the heater. It takes its fuel from the diesel tank, so as long as there's more than a quarter tank of diesel in the vehicle, that should be enough fuel for it. And it takes its power from the leisure battery, so as long as the leisure battery's got enough charge, that would also be fine. But that will also be replenished if you're on hookup, so it kind of gives more guarantee that it's going to be working fine. But it heats up the space very effectively. Okay, so for every hire you get a full tank of diesel, and you return it full of diesel, and it's filled till the pump clicks. To get to the fuel flap, this is the passenger side door, and the fuel flap is in here, so open the door slightly because that tab locks against the door, and then the diesel cap is at the top there. Just unscrew it and fill that till the pump, like I say, clicks. Turn that back, open the door and shut the flap.